Um, Hi. So today we're gonna go and dive in to one of the most scandalous and creepiest and most criminal artists out there. So this is gonna include artists that were pedophiles and murderers. So if you guys have any problems with that, I would suggest clicking off the video. But yeah, hey, so the artist we have here is Paul Gauguin. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but we'll find out. So, Paul Gauguin was born in June 17th, 1848, in France. He was known as a famous painter, and his works were known as a pioneer for new styles such as symbolism and also post-impressionism. Impressionism. I don't know if I said that right. I'm pretty sure I said that right. But anyway, so he was known to be kind of the pioneers in the new art world, kind of the 20 artists that made most of the modern art that we see now. And he was also a pedophile. So, yeah, that's fun. He was actually known a lot to go to the island Tahiti, where he would have a lot of affairs. And I don't just mean affairs, I mean these were children. They probably didn't have a right to say no. Apparently, in his excuse to going there, he would say it inspired him to make several of his art. And if you see it, a lot of it does really seem like the location that he would be painted at. However, he actually used that excuse to do things to little children. And he was also known to, not by many, known to abandon his wife. Yeah, he had a wife and kids to live on the island, where he proceeded to essay a lot of kids that were 13 and 15. And he also carried syphilis, and a lot of the kids. And what he was most famous for was actually. Sorry, the hat was bugging me. What he was most known for was marrying three of the kids. Three girls that were in the range of 13 to 15. And he fathered these three children and gave him more children. You know what's funny, though? When I was looking up the information on this guy, I found a cruise that was in his name. It's literally his name. And the cruise line is to Polynesian, Tahiti, and several places that are tropical. Specifically those places. I don't know. I mean, it could be a coincidence, but it just seems kind of on the nose a little bit, especially for the airlines. But moving forward, on the scale of pedophiles we have today that are artists, we have, we have Eric Gill, who was a sculptor and born in 1882. And he was most known for his work in Britain, and you can actually still go and see his work. It's still there. And he was known as a good stone carver. He was also known for designing fonts that we use today, specifically in when we're typing and such. He designed those, so that's pretty cool. However, what they didn't know was that he would sexually abuse three of his daughters. His own daughters, by the way. And he would isolate them in the house, did not make them leave the house. He would just have them there. And during this time, he would make a series of one of his most impressionable drawings. But no one knew at the time that it was of his own daughters. And he would basically have them in specific poses, specifically the oldest one, Petra. And the one who basically spilt all of it was a woman named McCarthy. She told that Gill sexually abused his daughters in the diaries that he wrote down. And he also did horrible other things, especially in the sexual nature. Apparently, even his mother said that when he was younger, he would do these weird sexual acts even bestiality. He even did bestiality at one point. It doesn't go in specifics, sadly, but I'm pretty sure you could probably find it. But yeah, it's great. You would never think that someone who's an artist would create any of this work, especially in the realms of bestiality and abusing your own daughters, incest. But yeah, Eric Gill. Yeah, oh man, that's fucking weird. So for this next artist, what they were accused of have been dropped. The accusations that they were accused of have been dropped. So I still wanted to put it in because I'm not sure if the whole story is actually accurate, especially because a lot of the things that people were, defending him of, they're still creepy. They're still very, weird. But let's get into it. So this guy's name is Egon Schiele. Egon. He was known for making erotic paintings and erotic drawings. His work was very his work was very non-Christian. And his crime was in 1920. He was arrested for seducing and the kidnappings of a minor. Now, this is where it gets complicated because I looked up certain websites that condemned it and said that the minor in question was apparently, they ran away and they just went to this couple, Egon and his wife, and they just spent the day there. And the thing is, the whole time, the father of the minor accused Egon of sexually assaulting and kidnapping his kid. Now, there isn't proof, and there isn't, it's just kind of hard to put in detail. What he was basically accused of, though, was that the minor in question saw his own work at his studio, and that's kind of where it went on the base. Now, that doesn't help the fact that in Austria, at that time, the age of consent was 14. So now that's still creepy, and we don't know the age of the minor that was in question. However, it's still kind of odd how that happened. And a lot of people, they blew it off, and he is now... The trial was dropped, basically, and the result was just... him being exposed to his art, the minor being exposed to his art. And, well, that's okay. It just feels a little icky, especially because he used prostitutes for models for his work, because he even said himself it was cheaper to pay a prostitute to model for his work, whereas paying a model would be a little bit too much. And the last case I'm going to cover is... one that was kind of a little worse than the other ones. He is not a pedophile, or now that's not confirmed. But this man, Harry Horse, who was a children's author and a comic illustrator. He was also known to be in a band called Swamp Trash, I think. Yeah, Swamp Trash. And he even made a video game. So that says a lot. He was, there's not much known about the case, but it was revealed that he murdered his wife in cold blood. Now, the thing is, everyone thought it was Romeo and Juliet's suicide because of the way that they died in each other's arms. His wife was suffering with multiple sclerosis and was basically wheelchair bound. When the bodies were found, Horse had stabbed his wife 30 times and then proceeded to kill the dog and cat, and he mutilated his own genitals, and he had 47 wounds until he bled to death, basically. That's how they found him. And originally this was deemed as a suicide pact just because of the way they were positioned, because I guess he positioned himself and his wife to be crisscross, like they were holding each other. But the autopsy showed that he wasn't on drugs, he didn't have anything, and that he did indefinitely kill his wife. And not much is really known, but there was some hearsay and some witnesses that were his friends that said the day of the murder, he was hanging out with his buddies and they were, I guess, just having fun. But one of his friends said that he was acting a little strange. He wasn't acting himself. And he apparently said that it's a wonderful night for killing, which I guess no one they just saw as like nothing, I guess. And there was also the point that the wife apparently practically begged their friends to just stay the night, but they couldn't. They had to. I think they were going to the airport or something, but they came back and they found the bodies, and then the police found the bodies, and it was a whole mess. There's like not really much for him. There's like no crimes that he committed beforehand. No like, oh, he was gonna do it, I knew it type of deals. It was just that night that they saw him like that. And after that, the case, no one talked about it. There's not much known about this. I mean, I know there's a few articles I could find. There was a Reddit post too. But other than that, there's not much known about this case. And it's kind of the most weird case, if I'm being honest. Like, he was an artist, but it didn't seem like he would even think about that. I mean, he was a children's artist. I mean, not saying that children's artists can be murderers, but it's very odd, especially the fact that there was no malice towards the wife. There was no like reports if he was abusive or anything, not that I know of. But yeah, that's so weird. That's just, oh, I can't imagine that. But yeah, thank you for listening, and thank you for watching me. I hope you liked the video, and if you want to click subscribe, please do. It's right down below. And yeah, thanks guys.